Hello, my name is Cassie Hastings, and I'm going to talk and discuss and just analyze a few things that has to do with Madison's speech on stress. The first thing that I would like to discuss about this speech is what type of speech was it, how how can we tell it was that type of speech? Um, First, it was an informative speech. So um, informative speech, it does one of four different things. It can educate the audience about a topic, it can describe a certain object, it can demonstrate how something works, or it can just explain a concept. um, for this speech, it was defining or educating the audience about a topic. Madison went into in depth about stress and where it comes from and how it can affect you and whatnot. Um, and an informal speech also can serve one of two different functions. The first one is to raise awareness about a topic for listeners, and then the second one is to provide an in depth explanation of a topic. For Madison in her speech, it was to provide an in depth explanation on a topic. Um, she educated the people, and she told them how stress can be prevented and where it actually initially comes from, and just ways to be able to get around stress and how to cope with it. Um, the second thing that I would like to discuss is um, to define the specific purpose of this speech. First, you have to get a feel for your audience in order for it to be a successful speech. You can't speak to an audience that about, say, dogs, if they're a veterinarian, say they already know things about dogs, of course. Um, so you have to get that feel on the audience, and Madison does that in the perfect way because she has people of all ages. There's even a younger child, maybe look like maybe 7 or 8, in the audience, all the way up till an older adult, maybe in their 40s or 50s. But and we all deal with stress. People from all ages, we deal with that kind of stress. And Madison really, um, you could tell she got the audience she needed to successfully do her speech. Um, she was able to narrow her topic down in the beginning in a really neat way, I thought, by saying that most of us will sometimes say if we are in stress, and what she says, this stress is killing me. And the way she just exaggerated it kind of made this the beginning of the speech like kind of narrowed that topic, and it I believe it opened up the audience's eyes. And as for me watching it, it kind of caught my attention, and uh, wanting to actually want to see what she actually had to say, because stress is something that we all deal with in our day-to-day lives. Um, Also, another thing that I would like to discuss is how the material is being covered through this specific speech. Um, like I said a second ago, we have to be careful and we have to know our audience. Also, it's important to know the knowledge that the audience already knows. You're not going to want to talk about something that the audience already kind of knows about, or because it's just going to be boring to them. So, know the knowledge of the audience and know your audience and know who you're going to be talking to before actually giving the speech. Have the correct age group as well. Gear your speech towards the correct age group. Um, Madison does that perfectly because, like I said, she had people of all various kinds of ages within her speech and listening to her. So it really worked out well for her. She does well with not having to repeat herself a lot, and she states new topics, or not new topics, but just new ideas and new things on the topic of stress. And she states information that isn't obvious, as I said just a second ago about knowing your audience's knowledge is important. And obviously she knew her audience's knowledge because of some of the things that she stated, and what she did state wasn't obvious knowledge, if you of course didn't go and research it. She also she gave good tips, for her audience, and she states statistics that are relative to her audience and didn't go over and beyond their what their mind could comprehend, which leads into the next thing, which is staying away from informational overload is important for any kind of speech. But this happens when the the amount and nature of the info exceeds the listener's ability to process it. Um, so you have to meet the audience's needs, and you can't give them so much information where they're initially, in the end, they're not going to get anything from the actual speech. Madison does a very good job. What she says makes sense. It all kind of comes together in the end, and overall, it just makes sense. And it was perfect speech for her variety of ages that um, she spoke with. If there was one thing that I could change a little bit about Madison's speech was to slow down. I felt like she did talk a lot, or not talk a lot, but she talked kind of fast. Her information was kind of given out fast, and which is fine if maybe she didn't have a younger child in the audience, and she did, like I said, at the beginning, there was a child about maybe 7 or 8 in the video, and I felt like if she would have just slowed down just a little bit, just to um, deal with him, but so that he could actually understand, and maybe he did, um, but overall she did well with her speech, and but yes, she did well.